ओम शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वंदे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. We are studying Badarayana Vyasa's Shariraka Mimamsa Shastra, popularly known as Brahma Sutra, and we are studying the four sutras of it, known as Chatusutri, with Shankaracharya's commentary. And we were reading the commentary on the second sutra. And in that, the difference about injunctions for work and injunctions for knowledge is being discussed. That is the point. That the question was that what is Brahman? And the reply is Janmadi Asya Yataha. And Shankar gives some reason for Ishvara being the cause. But then he says Vyasa has not given the reason. Vyasa's work is to sutra, thread, to make a garland out of the flowers of the sentences of Upanishads. And because there are sentences telling us about Ishvara is the cause of the world, but Upanishads themselves have allowed us to take recourse to reason also as helpful to understanding what the Shrutis are telling. And this because they themselves have used reason and have shown us how to use reason. And in that connection, he says that in the injunction about karma, it is only the faith in scriptures, you have no other praman. If he says, do work like this, you will get heaven, you have to do like that. Only when you do, then you will get the result. Not only by listening. But here, in the Jnanakanda, not only the Shrutis, but we discussed this last time, Anubhava Adayacha Yatha Sambhavam Iha Pramanam. Anubhava Avasanatvat Bhutavastu Vishayatvacha Brahma Jnanasya. The very nature of Brahma Jnana is such that it is about a thing already existing, about a thing which already know theoretically. But how that knowing theoretically will change into experience, that is the whole of Brahma Jnana. And so, any stock of Anubhav if you have, either yours or of the great sages, then you can use that also as the additional means of knowledge for getting that Brahma Jnana. That is the main point. Anubhava Adayacha. So in Adi, we understood reason, logic. And now let me tell you here that according to Vedanta Darshan, there are 6 means of knowledge. And we categorize them into 2. Pratyaksha and Paroksha. Direct and indirect. And within that indirect, we have Anuman, Upaman, Arthapatti is another type of reasoning, inductive. Then There is a Praman which only Mimamsa has proposed and Advaita has accepted it, is Anupalabdhi Praman. How do we know the absence of something? Because it is not there. Because we do not experience it. So we know it is not there. And then Shabda Praman. And the Shabda Praman is divided into two different categories. Laukika Shabda Praman. Under Laukika Shabda Praman, our 90% knowledge depends. What my mother tells me, what my father tells me, what my teacher tells me, what I read in the books, that is all Shabda Praman. That will produce a indirect knowledge, again, about things of the world. But there is another Shabda Praman, and that is Shruti Praman. When the rishis tell us their experiences, and if we can properly listen it, that itself will give us the knowledge of Brahman. Now, all these 6 methods are discussed only to show that they are insufficient, they have no go in the matter of Brahmagyan. All the 6, Pratyaksha, Anuman, Upman, Arthapatti, and Laukika Shabda Praman, have no scope in the matters of realization of our reality. So a new series is made there, new series. And that is called Shruti Yukti Anubhuti. Vedanta Vakyas is the first Praman. And to make it firm in our mind, we use Yukti or reason or Tarka. And then the final Praman is our experience. So that is why your experience also is brought. Final Praman, final means of knowledge is our own Anubhuti. So a new series of Pramanas has to come into play when talking of Brahmagyan. All these 6 usual Pramanas are cancelled in Brahmagyan. And Shruti Yukti Anubhuti is the Praman. So, in contrast with now, in the matter of karma, kartavya hi vishaye na anubhava apeksha asti. When we have to follow a duty, we do not expect that we are experiencing that sarga. That is no Praman there. It is not expected even. Iti Shruti Adinam eva Pramanyam. Shruti Adinam here means Shruti, Smriti, etc. other scriptures. Adi does not mean reason here. Adi means Shruti, Adi means Shruti, Smriti, Puran, other scriptures. They are the only Praman. And another point is that Purusha Adhina Atma Labhatvatcha Kartavyasya. We thought of it last time. That a Kartavya or a duty, Atma Labh means it gets a personality. It gets its own existence only because I do it. Only because a sadhak does it. Then only that duty gets an existence. Kartavyasya atmalabhatvat purushadina. It depends upon the person. Whether he does it, then the thing will get a reality. If it does not do it, it will be only in the words. That is now explaining now. Very important point, difference between injunctions on karma and injunctions on knowledge. Kartum, akartum, anyatha va kartum shakyam laukikam vedikam cha karma. Worldly duties and duties enjoined by the Vedas. Both. We can do or we may not do. Even if the Vedas have told us, we may not do. Anyatha va kartum. Or Vedas have told us to do in a particular way, we can do in some other way. It is true about all our worldly activities and also karma kanda. Example, yatha ashvena gacchati padbhyam anyatha va nava gacchati iti. I have to go to a place. Going is a karma. Now I can go by riding a horse, or I can go on foot, or I can go by some other means, or I may refrain from going at all. I will not go. So it depends upon my doing then the karma comes into existence. Injunction may be there. People may tell us to do such a karma. But I can do in so many ways, or I may not do even. So the karma depends upon my doing it. And the example in Vedas, this has given the Laukik example. I may go by riding a horse, or I may go on foot, or I may go by some other way, or I may not go at all. Now, in the matter of Vedic injunctions, tatha atiratre shodashinam grunati, na atiratre shodashinam grunati, udito juhoti, anudite juhoti, iti vidhi pratisheda cha atra arthavantasyu vikalpa utsarga apavadacha. So, vidhi pratisheda, that means do a particular thing or do not do a particular thing, they become meaningful in this or that, or not doing at all, or exception, either doing it in some other way, or giving it up, or taking it as an exception. Example, there is a yajna called Atiratra, and there we are expected to drink so much juice with a pot called Shodashi. Shodashi is the name of a pot, cup, by which you have to drink Somras. Or in that Atiratra sacrifice, it can be done without that Somras drinking also. And some yajnas are there which have to be done after sunrise. But they can be done before sunrise also. So, alternates are given in Karma Kanda. And so either this or that we can do, or we may give it up, or we may do it in some exception way. Natu vastu evam na evam asti na asti iti va vikalpate. Vastu means reality. But reality is of this nature or that nature cannot be true. We cannot imagine that the reality will have either this nature or that nature. Impossible. So that is the difference. And mind you here, not object, but vastu, reality. Because physical science people tell us that knowledge should be objective. They imagine first of all that the world is an object and everything in the world is an object and we are the subject and we are experiencing by our indriya without any checking and calibration. And then they say that it should be according to the object. Vedanta says there is no object. Vedanta says it should be according to the nature of the reality, not object. And in matters of reality, we cannot say the reality is of this nature or that nature. Reality will have one nature only. Na tu vastu evam na evam asti na asti iti va vikalpite. Evam na evam. That means the reality is there or not there. Or reality is of this nature or that nature. That is not possible at all. Reality is there and is of this nature. There you cannot have imagination of some other nature. Vikalpana to Purusha Buddhi Apeksha. But some people do imagine. That imagination depends upon their mind, not upon the reality. In Karma Kanda, man is allowed to do either this or that way. That is not possible in reality. Reality is there, it has only one nature. But if we imagine something, that imagination depends upon us. In any ways, it can be imagined. He had shown previously in how many ways people imagine it. Na vastu yathatma vijnanam purusha buddhi apeksham. Vijnanam, the experiential knowledge of the real nature of the reality. It does not depend upon man's thinking. Whether man thinks or not, reality is there. Reality has a fixed nature. Karma depends upon man's doing it. But reality does not depend upon man's mind. It is there and it is a fixed nature. So we may think in that way, we may think in that way. That will not touch the reality. Kim tarhi, then what it is? Vastu tantram eva tat. Vastu tantram. It depends upon that thing only. It depends upon the nature of reality only. How reality is, not on the object. Huh? How reality is depends only on the nature of the reality, not what man imagines. Tatra, nai, for example, nai sthanau ekasmin sthanau va purusha anya va iti tattva jnanam bhavati. There is a pillar. Then whether it is a pillar or a man or something else cannot be the real nature. Whether, doubt, whether it is a pillar or a man or something else cannot be the tattva jnanam. Tattva jnanam. Tat means that, tva means nature of that, jnanam means knowledge. Knowledge of the real nature of something is not of this type that it may be a pillar, it may be this, it may be that. That is not possible. Tatra purusha anya vaiti mithya jnanam. There we separate like this. That pillar, if we say it is a man or something else, then it is wrong knowledge. Sthano eva vritti iti tattva-jnanam vastu-tantratvat. But it is a pillar, is real knowledge, because it depends upon that thing. Because it depends upon that thing, nature of that thing. Now, example, an object. But it is about the reality. This is only an example. That if there is a pillar, then that it is a pillar is real knowledge because it depends upon the nature of the pillar. Evam bhuta vastu vishayanam pramanyam vastu tantram. So he had already told it is about a thing which is already existing. So when we talk of knowledge about a thing which is already existing, the means of knowledge is always that thing itself. About things, about Vishaya means objects of knowledge. Objects of knowledge about things which already exist, the means of knowledge or the validity of the means of knowledge depends upon that thing. Tatra evam sati brahmajnanamapi vastutantram eva bhuta vastu vishayatvat. So the knowledge of Brahman also, because Brahman already exists, so it is in that category. It will depend upon the nature of Brahman only. Because it is about a thing which already exists. Tatra evam sati means because this is the case. Because this is the case that things which already exist, their knowledge depends upon that thing. And things which have to come into existence, their vikalpa and alternate and not doing all this is possible. Not in a thing which already exists. Now, here doubt comes. If it already exists, you are telling, then does it not become that is already known? Then where is this jigyasa stands? So, when it is about the thing which already exists, this doubt comes. Nanu bhuta vastutve brahmana pramanantara vishayatvam eva iti Vedanta vakya vicharana anarthika eva prapta. If it is about a thing itself, then we may have pratyaksha or anuman or arthapatti or upman or anupalati. Something we can use it. What is the use of Vedanta Vakyas, Rishi Vakyas? And to think about the Rishi Vakyas. Hearing Rishi Vakyas, deliberation on that is meaningless. Because if the thing already exists, this is the doubt, huh? Because the thing already exists. So we can know it by our means, by directly we can go there and see, or we may infer from something. So some pramana we can use. What is the need of Vedanta Vakya? Now this is an important point. Na indriya avishaytvena sambandha agrahana. Na means this thinking is wrong. Indriya avishaytvena, thing exists, but not as an object to our senses. The thing exists, pillar, etc. can be seen, but Brahman exists. It is not an object of our sense organs. Sambandha grahanam. Sambandha grahanam means Brahman is told as the cause of the world. This connection between Brahman and the world, we cannot see by our eyes. It already exists. Brahman exists as the cause of the world. But it is not a matter of sense perception. And so, though it is about so difference, about a thing which is already exists, other pramanas are not useful. Only Rishi Vakyas we have to use. And as I said, we can use reasoning in confirmation of Rishi Vakyas, and ultimately we have to experience it. So that is the only means. Is it clear that thing already exists, but it is not an object of our sense perception? The connection between the thing, current, and world is not seen by our eyes or imagined or inferred. So it has to be known only through Rishi Vakyas, and we have to deliberate, think about it, and then only it will come. Now why? Svabhavata Vishaya Vishayani Indriyani Nacha Brahma Vishayani. The very nature of our sense organs is that they perceive objects. They are not made in such a way that they can perceive Brahman. They cannot pursue their own reality. The very rachana of our Indriyas is that they can perceive objects. They are not meant to make Brahman as an object, their own reality as an object. Sati indriya vishayatve brahmana idam brahmana sambaddham karyam iti gruhyeta. Had it been had Brahman been the object of our indriyas, then we could understand, because world is our perception. So Brahman is the cause of this world. We could have understood if Brahman was the object of our sense organs. If we could have seen Brahman, then we could have understood how it is the cause of the world. Karyamatram evatu gruhyamanam. World we see only. Kim brahmana sambandham, kim annena kenachitva sambandham, iti na shakyam nishyetum. Whether the world has come out of Brahman or of something else, we cannot determine by our perception or inference. Tasmad Janmadi Sutram na Anumana Upanyasartham. So that Sutra Janmadi Asyata is not for providing any logic. So all this discussion was that Vyasa has not used logic, because logic cannot give us Brahman. Our Rishi's experience, understood and experienced by ourselves, only can give a knowledge of the important thing. That we may use Tarko and hundreds of things, that is not going to give us Brahmagyan. Only Rishi Vakyas will make an impression on our heart, and by thinking we'll make it firm, And then we'll have our own experience. In that way only, Brahman can be known. So why that Vakya? Vedanta Vakya Pradarshanartham, to show a Vedanta Vakya. Kim punah tad Vedanta Vakyam ya sutareriya lilakshayititam. Lilakshayititam. That means which is that Vedanta Vakya which this sutra is trying to direct us to? Lilakshayitam. What it is indicating? Which Vakya is it is indicating? Because this is Janmadi Asayata. That is not a Vedanta Vakya. But it is referring to some Vedanta Vakya. So what is that Vedanta Vakya to which it is referring? He says, go to Taittiriya Upanishad and there in the third section, Bhrugoli, Bhrugurvai Varuni, Varunam Pitaram Upasasara, Adi Bhagava Brahma iti upakramyaha yato vai imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayante abhisamvishanti tat vijigyasasva tat brahma iti. So it started like this in the third chapter. Bhrugu is the son of Varuna. He goes to Varuna, his father, and requests him, "O revered sir, teach me Brahman." So see, Brahman is known to him. Otherwise, how he asks about Brahman? If Brahman is unknown totally, he would not ask at all. He is known to him, but why he asks? He wants to realize it. He wants to know its specific nature. He has heard that there is Brahman, and he believes there is Brahman, but he is asking because he wants to know very specific nature of Brahman and experientially how to experience that. That is what he wants to know. Iti upakramya. So the thing has started like that. And then his father Varuna has provided data and indication of how to get it. Yato vai imani bhutani jayante, that from which these beings are born, yena jatani jivanti, and due to which they live when they are alive, yat prayanti abhisamvishanti, and they merge in him when they dissolve, that try to know, that try to experience. That is Brahman. In this way it is told, and then the conclusion. Beginning, middle, and conclusion. So the conclusion, tatsya nirnaya vakyam, anandati eva khalu imani bhutani jayante, anandena jatani jivanti, anandam prayanti abhisamvishanti iti. The conclusion is that it is bliss. From the bliss, beings are born. In bliss they live, and they dissolve into bliss when they go back. That was the conclusion. And so, this whole prasanga is referred to by telling Janmadiya Seta. So, bring before your mind the full picture of that incident. Bhrigu going to Varuna, asking him to teach Brahman, and him giving him an indication of how to get it. Not a definition, but a way to get it. And then conclusion it tells that it is the bliss which is the cause of all this world. Anyani api evam jati ekani vakyani nitya shuddha buddha mukta svabha sarvajna swarupa karana vishayani udahartavyani. This is one sentence. But like this, there are many sentences you will get in Vedanta. And mentally, you should refer to all of them. evam jati ekani of this type. What is the type? He had told Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta, by nature, all knowing, that is the cause of the world. This type of meaning is given in many sentences. This is a very specific sentence. But there are other sentences meaning the same meaning, so they also should be thought of. So that is the commentary of the second sutra. We understood now? First sutra was Athato Brahma Jigyasa, that now, in continuation of my struggle, I have a keen desire to realize Brahman, to get Brahman. What is that Brahman? Janmadhyasya Seta. It's the cause of the world. Janmadhyasya gives a specific direction to our query. It gives a specific direction to our jigyasa. And we have discussed this. First of all, think that there was a time when the world was not there, it was created. And then think that when it exists, how does it exist? Continuously changing, but how does it exist? And one time will come when nothing will remain. Everything will go back to Brahman. So in this way, we have been taught to think. Now, it implied, as Shankar has shown, that the Brahman is all-knower. But Vyasa makes another sutra to clearly tell that. The next point is that Brahman has been indicated as all-knower. But there are Upanishad sentences which specifically tell this point. Jagat karanatva pradarsanena sarvajnam brahma iti upakshiptam tat eva dridhayan aha. The cause of the world, Shankara has shown that without full knowledge one cannot create the world. So by telling that Brahman is the cause of the world, Brahman is all-knower, has been indicated. But we have to be very clear on this point. What is that? When generally people talk of God, modern people, they will say it is a power. Power of what type? Like electricity, miracle. Electricity cannot create the world. So when we think of God, first thought should be consciousness. First thought should be He is all-knower. Then only we can think of God properly as the cause of the world. So that thing to be emphasized now. Tateva dridhayanaha. Third sutra, Shastra Yonitvat. Yoni means source. Brahman is the source of all the scriptures. Brahman is the source of Vedas. From Brahman, Vedas have come out. Now, Vedas means all knowledge, all subtler knowledge. So if Vedas have come out of him, then he must have more knowledge even than the Vedas. If Vedas are a product of his mind, then his mind must contain knowledge much more than Vedas. So he is all-knowing. So to confirm that he is all-knowing, third sutra has come, Shastra Yonitvat. Yonitvat is a hetu. Because it is the yoni, because it is the source of the Shastras, so it is all-knowing. How connection? Because it is a tarka. So how connection? Mahata Rigveda Ade Shastrasya Aneka Vidya Sthana Upabrumitasya Pradipavat Sarva Artha Jyotinaha Sarvajna Kalpasya Yoni Karanam Brahma. Vedas are like all-knowing, because everything we find in the Vedas. All the arthas, all the meanings, all the objects, it is like a lamp illumining all the objects, Vedas. And from Vedas, so many types of knowledge also come. Other than Brahmajnan, so many types of knowledge also are included in the Vedas. Rigveda and others, that means Rigveda, etc. Rigveda and others means all the Vedas. Mahata, very big, Rigveda Adi Shastra, they are source of so many types of knowledge, and like a lamp illumining everything in the world. So they are like all knowers. Yoni means Karanam. Their cause is Brahman. So Brahman must be all knower. Brahman is all knower because Vedas which are like all knower, they have come from him. To make us understand, Shankar says, Nai idrishasya shastrasya Rigvedadi lakshanasya sarvajna guna anvitasya sarvajnat anyata sambhava asti. This type of shastra, Rigveda and others, which is filled with the characteristics of all-knowership, how can it come out of something which is not all-knower? There is no chance that Rigveda and other Vedas, which are themselves like all-knowers, how can they come out of something less than all-knower? He gives a logic logic. Yat yat vistarartham shastram yasmat purusha visheshat sambhavati yatha vyakarana ade panini ade ne ekadesha artham api sa tatapi adhikatara vijnana iti prasiddham loke. किमु वक्तव्यम अनेक शाखा भेद भिन्नस्य देव तिर्यक मनुष्य वर्ण आश्रम आदि प्रविभाग हेतु ऋग्वेदादि आख्यस्य सर्व ज्ञान आकरस्य अप्रयत्नन एव लीला न्यायेन पुरुष निश्वासवत् यस्मात् महता भूतात् योने संभवा. अस्य महता भूतस्य निश्वसितम् एतत् यद् ऋग्वेदा इत्यादि श्रुते. तस्य महता भूतस्य निरतिशयं सर्वज्ञत्वं सर्वशक्तिमत्वं च इति. So, any knowledge which comes out of a man, the details from some particular man, then that man must be knowing more than. If a man writes a book upon a subject, then that man has more knowledge than that book. Example, Panini has given us Vyakarana Shastra. Ne Ekadesham api, it is only about a particular topic. So tatapi adhikatara vijnana iti prasiddham loke. So you know that Panini has much more knowledge. This is one branch of knowledge he has given out, and he has much more knowledge. That is the Lokik example. Now, Devatas, Aneka Shakha Veda Vinnasya. There are so many shakhas in Vedas. Deva, Dev, Tiryak, that means other species than man, Manushya, then Varnashrama, Adi, Pravibhaga Heto, that Vedic Karma Kanda is divided, Varnashrama, etc. Rigveda Adi Akhasya, named Rigveda and others, Sarvajnana Akarasya, source of all knowledge. Apratnana eva, Lila Nayena, without any effort. Lila means without any effort, easily it has come out. Purusha Nishwasavat, like a man breathes. Mahata Bhutat Yone Sambhava. So it is possible only from the big Bhuta as the source. And that is stated in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Asya Mahata Bhutasya Nishasitam Etad Yad Rigveda. This Rigveda is the just a breathe out of the great reality. Now think of that Bhuta. Is he not Sarvajna par excellence and also all powerful because he can create the world as he knows in the Vedas. So because Vedas have come out of him, so he is not only all knower but all powerful. Athava. Now this sentence can have other meaning. Now Athava or in Shankara's literature always means and. It is not a vikalpa. We should think like this or like this. We have to think that also and this also. So the third sutra has another meaning, very important. Shastra Yonitvat. That means Shastras are the only source of knowledge of Brahman. Now this is not argument in a circle, please. That Vedas, Brahman is the cause of Vedas and Vedas are the cause of Brahman. No. Brahman is the cause of Vedas and Vedas are the cause of knowledge of Brahman. Vedas is the only source from which we can know the nature of Brahman. And Brahman is directly cause of the Vedas. So these are not a circle argument. Appearance may be like that. If it be that it creates the Vedas and Vedas create it, then it will be circle. So the second meaning of this very sutra, Shastra Yonitvat, that is Hetu. Because Shastras are yoni of knowledge of Brahman. So Brahman is all knower, is already known now. From the Janmadi Yasayata, we know Brahman is all known. But how to know that Brahman? The main point is that how to realize that Brahman. Where to go? Only Shastras. So not by our imagination, not by Tom, Dick and Harry. It is only by the Rishi Vakyas that we can know Brahman. That is the next meaning, important meaning, more important sometimes. Athava yatha uktam Rigvedadi Shastram yoni karanam pramanam asya brahmana yathavat swarupa adigame. Yoni means karan means means of knowledge. Yoni means karanam means means of knowledge of this Brahman, of the real nature of Brahman. Adigame, to know, to get to know the real nature of this Brahman, the only means of knowledge, that is called yoni or karan of the Brahman. Yatha uktam Rigvedadi. About Rigveda and other Vedas, which we have just now told, that it has so many branches and all that. So, Rigvedadi are the only primary source of knowledge of Brahman. This tallies with Swami Vivekananda's Hinduism and Ramakrishna. He starts straight away that Shastra means the Anadi Ananta way. Vedas are the only source of all subtler knowledge. Vedanta is the source of authentically, authoritatively guiding us in spiritual life. So that is what he means here. Rigveda Adi Shastram Yoni Karanam Brahmanam Asya Brahmana Yathavat Swarupa Adigame. A question was asked of me by our friends that now Sri Ramakrishna has come, Swami Vivekananda has come, and we have many modern scriptures, is it necessary to go to Vedas or Upanishads? I said, that is what Swami Vivekananda has said, that the primary source is Upanishads. All other Shastras, Swami Vivekananda has clubbed into one word, Smriti. And he says, Smritis are valid so long as they follow the Vedas. So Swamiji himself, if you believe what Swamiji says is true, then Swamiji himself has said that the Vedas are the only scriptures. Other scriptures depend upon the Vedas. They are true so long as they tally with the Vedas. If they go against the Vedas, then they are not true. This is what Swamiji himself has said. So remember, we should not fall in this delusion that only this is sufficient for us. The Swamiji has told there, the reference, whether your thing is true or not, is ultimately the Vedas. Of all other scriptures of our country or any other country, all the scriptures of all countries, including our country, the authoritative reference book is only Vedas. Whether your thing is true or not, are the Vedas. So what is the meaning? Shastrat eva pramanat jagata janma adi karanam brahma adigamyati iti abhipraya. The meaning is that only from the scriptures, Vedas, we come to know that the cause of creation, preservation, destructions of the world is Brahman, the reality. To know that reality, which is the cause of the world, we have only one means, and that is Shastras or Vedas. Shastram udaritam purva sutra. And that Shastra was quoted from the previous sutra. Yata va imani bhutani jayanti ityadi. So the question was, when it is quoted already, why this sutra? Vedas are the only scriptures of knowledge. And Vedas were quoted in the last sutra. So what is the need of telling that Vedas are the only source? Because you have told it already. Like that a doubt comes. Kim artham tarihi idam sutram yavata purva sutra eva evam jati ekam shastram udaharata shastra yonetvam brahmana darshitam. Sentences of this type only will give us the knowledge of Brahman. This was told in the previous sutra. So what is the purpose of this sutra at all? If take the second meaning, that it is the only source of knowledge of Brahman, what is the use? Uchyate. Tatra purva sutra aksharena spashtam shastrasya anupadanat janmade kevalam anumanam upanyastam iti ashanketa. There, their doubt had come that is it a logic or it is a shastra. We had not told that it is from the shastras. Only we had quoted a sentence, Janmadya Seta, that is Brahma. Now whether we had provided a logic or we had provided a shastra vakya was not clear there. So you may feel that it is a logic, ashanka nirvartayitum, and that doubt has to be removed. It is important that we have to go to Vedas as the direct means of knowledge, not anuman. Idam sutram prabhavrute shastra yonitvatiti. So this sutra has come. That sutra was from Shastra, but we are not told that it is from Shastra. We might have taken it as the reason, but reason will not allow lead us to Brahmajnana. Only Shastra deliberation will lead us to Brahmajnana. And so a sutra has been made to tell that only Shastras can give. It's an important thing, very important thing. We cannot go subjectively. We have to follow the Rishi Vakyas. We have to follow those who have experienced. We have to follow their dictum, and that is how we shall also know. So, That is why this sutra is made, that Shastras are the only yonis of Brahman. I will tell you a small incident on this point. When my Guruji went to Mahapurush Maharaj, he told him, boy, we must study the Upanishads. He said, what is the use of studying that Ghatapata? Is the main thing not to love God? Mahapurush Maharaj said, my boy, what you say is true. That main thing is to love God. But my boy, love also as a Shastra. You cannot love subjectively. Love has a Shastra, a science. And take it from me, Mahapurush Maharaj is telling, Upanishads are the best Bhakti Shastras in the world. Even to guide on the path of Bhakti, Upanishads are the best Shastras. And so, whether we think of knowledge or karma or bhakti or yoga, not Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Upanishads. So, Upanishads are the best Bhakti Shastras. Upanishads are the best Shastras that was told in this way. And that is what we must not approach independently. We must know through Shastras the nature of Brahman, how to realize it, and we should realize as per what the Shastras have told us. Now, with regard to this, another doubt comes. And that is our usual experience. So we go to the fourth sutra now. The introduction to the fourth sutra. Katham puna brahmana shastra pramanakatvam uchyate yavata amna yasya kriyarthatvat anarthakyam atadarthanam iti kriyaparatvam shastrasya pradarshitam. Before this Badarayana's Sharirika Mimamsa came out, Jaimini had already written his Mimamsa called Purva Mimamsa, which deals only with the karma kanda of the Vedas. And there he had made this statement that Amna yasya kriyartatva. Amna means Vedas. Vedas are meant only to make us do some action. Atadarthanam anarthakya. So if there are sentences which do not make us do any action, they are meaningless. When we have this thing, then how do you say that Vedas are the only source of knowing Brahman? Those sentences which do not talk of action, but they deal with the real nature of Brahman, it has already been told that that should be rejected. Vedas means karma. So how do you say that that can be the source of knowledge of Brahman? Atha Vedantanam anarthakyam akriyartatva. So all the sentences of Vedantas, that is Upanishads, Gyankanda, are meaningless because they are not related to karma. Now, mentally we try some compromises. Oh, it can be meaningful like this. It can be meaningful like this, not in the original sense of revealing knowledge. So, Kartru Devatadi Prakashana Arthatvena va Kriya Vidisheshatvam Upasana Adi Kriyantara Vidhana Arthatvam cha va. Two ideas come here. Now, when we are doing some karma, say we are doing Havan for Varuna Devata, then we should know the nature of Varuna Devata. If we are doing Yajna for Indra, we should know who is Indra. So in this way, they get connected with some karma. Kartru Devatadi, two things. Who is doing Yajna? I am doing. What is my nature must be told. Because Vedanta tells us that my nature and the nature of the world is the same. So he says it is telling because your nature should be known and the nature of the Devata for whom you are doing yajna should be known. And the Vedanta is revealing the natures. So it is connected with the action. Kriya Vidhi Sheshatvam. Sheshatvam means a part. There is a Kriya Vidhi, injunction for work. And Vedanta also are parts of the injunctions for work because they are telling what is your real nature, what is the nature of the Devata. So they become also part of work. Or other than the stool karma, there is a mental karma, upasana. And so they are teaching some upasanas. If they are different from karma kanda, they are teaching some upasanas. Upasana adi kriyantar vidhan. Kriyantar means different type of kriyas, not gross kriya. Mental worship, vidhana, arthatvam cha. Vidhana means injunctions for. Injunctions for mental worship other than karma is being told by them Vedanta, though two doubts are being given. One is that it is for the sake of, doubt means somehow to patch up the idea. First he told that Vedanta does not relate to action, so it is useless. It can be thought of as useful because it can be telling us our real nature and real nature of the Devatas, so it becomes a part of our karma. Or it is teaching us not karma in the gross matter, but karma in the subtler field, mentally karma, upasana, that may be the purpose. Nai parinishthita vastu pratipadanam sambhavati. We'll take it up the next Wednesday. So, an important point under discussion now, that whether Vedanta is valid at all or not, or valid in which way, for that the fourth sutra will come. So, it is the introduction to the fourth sutra. We shall see that. Om Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanam.